Industrialization is a process by which an economy is transformed from a primarily agricultural one to one based on the manufacturing of goods. Of course, industrialization generates employment, provides educational opportunities, encourages advancement and innovation, and better utilizes resources. Zambia has seen robust growth and increased foreign direct investment (FDI) flows over the past decade through the Zambia Development Agency (ZDA) and the Industrial Development Corporation (IDC). The Industrial Development Corporation (IDC) Limited is a state-owned enterprise charged with the mandate to spearhead government's commercial investments agenda aimed at strengthening Zambia's industrial base and job creation. While the Zambia Development Agency is Zambia's premier economic development agency with a multifaceted mandate of promoting and facilitating trade, investment, and enterprise development in the country. However, this may be harmful to the consumers if public safety measures and institutions to implement are not in place. Then why and how is industrialization critical to economic development?
The industrialization policy that Zambia has, it is aiming to transform Zambia from a producer and exporter of primary products into a net exporter of value-added goods, utilizing local primary resources with increased citizens' participation. As you are aware, you find that Zambia does export a lot of primary products, but now the focus is to add value to the products that we do produce.
Public safety refers to the welfare and protection of the general public. It is usually expressed as a governmental responsibility, very important to consumers and the environment.
Public safety is important because it guarantees consumers with protection from vices such as food poisoning and also from expired products. For example, the Commission ensures public safety for consumers by initiating investigations in cases that border on public interest, such as food poisoning and expired products. The Competition and Consumer Protection Commission ensures that the public is protected, in this case by conducting thorough inspections of marketplaces to record the product that is suspected to contain toxic substances which may endanger the health of consumers. Public safety is also important to the environment because it ensures that products that are sold on the Zambian market conform to the mandatory standards set by the Bureau. This helps to protect the Zambian environment from being a dumping ground for substandard products which may be toxic to the environment and may threaten the welfare of consumers at large through various forms of pollution.
Zambia, as a sovereign nation, has tremendous natural resource wealth but faces increasing threats to its environment, including deforestation and wildlife tracking and the effects of climate shocks. With this huge responsibility of protecting over 19 million Zambian people and the environment they live in, but how does the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency achieve public safety and industrialization at the same time?
As a way of enforcing compulsory standards, we have established presence in most of the major border entry points. These include Katimamulilo, Kazungula, Victoria Falls border, Chanida, Mwami, Chirundu, and Nakonde. In addition to these major border entry points, we also have presence in inland offices such as the Livingstone Port Office and Ndola Office. We also have presence in other provincial centers where we ensure that the products that are manufactured in other countries meet the requirements of the Zambian market for us to protect our consumers from consuming any products that may be detrimental to their health. So apart from the inspections that are conducted at the border, we also conduct market surveillances. A market surveillance is basically a post-market activity or an activity that you conduct after you have licensed the product. Now we want to ensure that that product has continued to meet the public health, safety, and environmental protection requirements of the land. So we get products from the market and then we subject them to inspection and testing just to assure the members of the public that these products have continued to comply with the requirements of compulsory standard.
The ZCSA supports industrial growth through inspections and approval of products regulated by means of compulsory standards. Inspections are conducted so that products which are sold or imported into the local market and those which are exported adhere to standards. Some of these sectors include manufacturing, construction, agriculture, and mining. However, in what ways does ZCSA ensure industries comply with prescribed regulations and public safety as industrialization is diversified, ranging from copper mining and processing, construction, foodstuffs, beverages, chemicals, textiles, fertilizer, and horticulture, among others?
When you look at the foreign tankers, those are critical in terms of transportation of the highly dangerous goods. So we ensure that these tankers, they comply to the standard, so that even as the dangerous goods are being imported or they are transiting the Zambian roads, they are not posing any health risk to the environment, especially maybe in terms of leakages. And also when there is an explosion, then definitely it is going to have an effect on the people.
Not only that, the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency also conducts technical inspections for products that fall within the compulsory standards. This implies that ZCSA inspects all the products that have been declared mandatory by the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. At the moment, there are 61 products which have been declared mandatory.
We do inspections here of all compulsory standards for commodities that fall under the compulsory standards. By compulsory standards, I mean those that have been declared mandatory. We carry out inspections here at the border. We also do a certification for those products that have passed. By passing, I mean each standard has a set of requirements that need to be met for it to be considered fit on the Zambian market. Okay. The other thing that we do also, we also carry out post-market surveillances. So what happens in the post-market surveillances is that when we clear a consignment here for a mandatory product, we do also follow it up to see if they still comply. But sometimes what happens is we can clear a product here, then as time goes on, maybe the product will deteriorate on the shelf. So we do monitor the products even after they've been cleared on the market.
Indeed, trade is wide with various kinds of products flooding the Zambian market with different consumers from all walks of life. However, what is it exactly that the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency regulates with efficiency in the delivery of business development services?
So what we have to do is to make sure that all the products that are being manufactured or being supplied do not have a negative impact in terms of safety, in terms of health, in terms of the environment. So what we do is that the standards that are generated provide a criteria or the basis on which we decide whether these products comply or conform to set requirements as stipulated in applicable standards. But not only do we focus on those standards, but we also look at the specific issues that could relate specifically to those types of products. So environments in which those products are realized or produced, and the processes and the equipment and the people that are involved, do they provide a system or an environment in which these products can be realized and supplied in a safe manner? So those are aspects that we want to look into, because we don't just want to just test the product and get results and say this product is okay. But then we want to take steps backwards and look at processes or systems from which these products are realized. And then when we can draw confidence on the systems upon which these products are realized, then we can safely say this product is safe to be sold. But then we do not end at that. Even when the product is offloaded onto the market, there are other schemes that we implement, such as market surveillances, spot checks that we do. and investigations where concerns arise.
Safety, I would say it's something that involves all of us. Obviously, as the ZCSA, Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, we're a regulator of compulsory standards. Yeah, so we play our part as a regulator. Then you've got the consumers, obviously. They are the consumers of the products. You've got the manufacturers or the traders. They supply those products that are consumed. So we all have a role to play in a way. For the consumers in particular, we, in as much as a regulator will play its part in ensuring that the products that are availed to them are safe for consumption or use, it is also, the onus is also on the consumer to ensure that they also check the specifications of the type of products that they consume. It is also their role to check and to find out whether such products are allowed for consumption. I think especially in these days in which there are so many products that are being supplied, technology is changing, there are so many innovations. And any businessman or any manufacturer, trader would want to take advantage of the environment and supply any product.
Ensuring public safety is realized is a mammoth task for a single entity, meaning it calls for concerted efforts from all stakeholders. However, this should not fail as it is cardinal for both the environment and consumers.
Educate the public on issues to do with public safety, public health, and also anything that involves environmental protection. We also collaborate with other state agencies like the Zambia Revenue Authority, Zambia Forestry, Agriculture. We also do a lot of engagement with the clearing agents because these are major stakeholders.
Most of these products, what is most important is the labeling. Obviously, they can't go into the nitty-gritties of the scientific background or the constituent of that particular product that they want to consume or use. But they can also look at the labeling of such products. One such thing is obviously there are some products that are time-based, that is when you're looking at shelf life and best before qualities of that product. They should be aware of that. They should also look at the product, the labeling, what type of product do they want to buy, purchase, and use. Is it fit for them, especially for some who, if it's like food items or consumable products. Some people have got different conditions, medical conditions, so they need to look at the product, look at the labeling, and see whether such a product is good for them. Then the other aspect, as I said, is there are products where if they're not sure, they can always come to us as ZCSA to find out whether such a product is even in the first place supposed to be availed to the general public for consumption. That is, for us, we've got different schemes, we've got different license schemes for imported products and for domestically produced products.
As the Zambia compulsory standards make efforts to ensure that the products on the market conform to the standards and ensure public safety, there is a misconception from our consumers that once they pay for the products, then the stated products conform to the required standards by the agency. What the general public should know is that paying for a product will never be equal to compliance standards.
That was compliance, but we had to explain. When you make a payment, it does not mean that the product is compliant. When you make a payment, it means that you want to pay for that service. So when that service is being paid for, it has to be rendered. So what we have told them that ensure that whenever a payment is done, you have to ensure that the inspection is conducted. So that's what we have explained to them. Then we have also explained to them the importance of ensuring that the products that are coming in or exiting are inspected, because now the world in terms of conformity assessment is changing. We're looking at the issues of the risk-based inspection. So we have explained to them that it's better that all the products that are coming in they are inspected so that we have the compliance history of that product.
Enforcing compliance helps ZCSA prevent and detect violations of rules. As that is done, what could be the agency's expectation and desire as it maintains and ensures compliance to compulsory standards?
We have a lot of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, and as we do our inspections, as we do our work of regulating and ensuring that these products coming out of these factories are actually safe for consumption, we realize a number of challenges that these companies are facing. So yes, industrialization, I think, is a vision of the country to be able to improve productivity, to be able to improve the finished products that are coming out of there. So ours is to provide the technical assistance that is required. We may not necessarily have the capacity to drive industrialization in that particular regard, but in helping these industries understand requirements that will help them to improve, that will drive them to other sources, of course, which may then facilitate their becoming or their embracing perhaps newer technologies or better equipment. I think research is always going on in the world. So there's always better ways of doing things that are coming up. And like I said, our most of our industry may be incapacitated, but in at least helping them to ensure that they meet requirements of standards, and thereby they produce safe products, they produce good quality products, then that can drive them towards industrialization in this regard.
The Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency will always remain committed to its obligation and passion of a credible compulsory standards regulator in Zambia. The agency will endeavor to safeguard the lives of millions of Zambians by monitoring the safety and quality of products on the market.